Hello, everybody, and welcome to my discussion of Higurashi's Minagoroshi manga. Now, let me just show you the individual volumes. So, this is volume 1, and this is volume 2, and then this is volume 3. These adaptations are absolutely massive. There are actually 6 volumes in total, but each book that I have in the English version is actually split into 2 volumes. So, yeah, there is an absolute ton of content, which is kind of similar to the visual novel. And the visual novel chapter in Minagoroshi is amazing. It really is, because it just feels like such a journey of Rika's character development. Obviously, it feels such an emotional journey for us, just realizing what the hell is going on in the plot and the reveal of who the true villain is as well. And it's just in general the saving Satoko that is the thing that is so powerful in the visual novel. And it's a good thing that the manga is really long, because you get quite a lot of just the excitement properly explored. And obviously, not like the anime tries to do it. No, you get it in so much depth, and it is really good. And I think the manga artist as well, Momoyama Hinase, we've not seen manga from that artist before in the Higurashi series. All of the other manga is made by a different artist, so it did feel really different at first. But then when I got used to the art style, and holy shit, when you see all of the really, really high energy stuff in chapter 2, I think in particular, remember the scene with Audio and Keiichi just trying to do anything to convince her to kind of get the council's approval to I think it's to help all of the protests relating to Satoko, and also just to turn an eye, well, not turn an eye, look the other way with how you view the Horjors as well. Just in that scene, holy shit, the amount of energy that was conveyed in the art style, brilliant. And yeah, I really enjoyed it for that reason. And yeah, now let's just kind of talk about the plot. So yeah, I mean, my god, from the beginning of this story, you just see how much has changed from the previous chapter, because in the previous chapter we don't really know nearly as much as we do in Minagoroshi. And you see the true story of Rika, you see Rule X, Y, and Z, and yeah, you just see Rika totally being changed by the world around her, the world that just seems wrong because of how well everything is going. And I mean, obviously, you realise that not everything is going to go well forever, but yeah. I think the proper change in this world is just seeing Keiichi and seeing how much more effective he is at trusting people and believing in people, and just in general wanting a better future for everybody. And yeah, Keiichi properly changes Rika, seriously. And obviously the world rolls lots of sixes, like for example the doll scene, all of those dreams as well that people had that kind of prevented their family situations from, well, causing level 5 Hinamizawa syndrome. Let's be honest here. Rena's a good example of that. And yeah, Shion actually taking care of Satoko as well. I mean, all of the things that could seem weird in the world are. And yeah, god, you just see even Akasaka's there as well. And yeah, you just really see everything happen in the first volume that feels really good. So it's kind of, I suppose you can think of it like this: everything that people have control over, they have been able to kind of fix. Whereas, obviously, everything going on with Satoko is not really something they have too much control over. So, obviously, that still happens, unfortunately. But it's actually ironic, because of Rena's family situation and because of Rena peacefully solving her situation, Satoko's situation can happen. So yeah, it's very, very deadly, all of it. And I like how nobody resorts to murder, and there's so much reason for people to want to, and yet they just don't. And Shion especially, they just insist. Katie just insists not to, and yeah, they solve Satoko's problem by properly sticking to the book and playing the game like it's meant to be played, rather than I don't know, if you want to think of murder as, don't know, like a cheat code or something. Yeah, you use the cheat code and then the cheat code, you get karma because your life's fucking ruined afterwards. Yeah, and I like that as well. Yeah, just the proper emphasis that, yeah, if people kill each other, it's not exactly going to be the best afterwards as well. And yeah, my god, it's just such a journey seeing everything that everybody goes through to save Satoko as well. And there's a lot. It's not just as if it's going to fully work out. There are so many times where you just think that everything could completely go wrong. And yeah, that's what makes it such a thrill. And what I also love about the journey is the fact that if Satoko doesn't ask for help herself, there's no point in doing it. I always thought this in even the last protests in the story. They ultimately, no matter how big the protest is, if Satoko doesn't genuinely feel like she can ask for help, her situation can't be solved. So basically, they could have the entire country they could have the entire country protesting, and yet if Satoko doesn't actually ask for help and doesn't change how she views enduring Tepe's abuse, really, if she doesn't actually change herself, nothing can change apart from it. Nothing can change as a result of the protests. And what I love about this story, actually, and I think this is something that kind of can only happen with people Katie's age, really, because they'll try anything, no matter how pointless it is, because they just don't have anything to lose. I mean, ultimately, the reward is too high for them to want to, for them to care, really. And I just kind of love that emphasis that I had, that the emphasis on that, I kind of, it was pointed out to me when I was reading, which I liked. Anyway, yeah, because ultimately, even if Satoko is fully saved, and obviously the consultation center, they kind of fail to abide with standard procedure, really, she's not going to be happy. It's just going to be, it could even be a repeat of Tatarigoroshi, who knows? Well, not really like that, just not really in the sense that somebody murders for her, but in the sense that she can't recover from the incident, and ultimately going lengths to save her is not actually going to do anything. Yeah, and you also just have, it's just such a challenging story, just in the sense that you have all of the stuff that goes on with Satoko, but at the same time, like, even when the solution is reached and Satoko is actually saved, there's still the problem of Rika dying. And that's, I mean, I remember Rika was trying her hardest in Volume 1 just to save herself and just to properly fight back, which she hasn't really done much of before, because she's just given up because it just feels hopeless, and I don't blame her whatsoever. But ultimately, that problem is still arising, and that's the worst thing. It just feels like you have all of this meaningful protest to save Satoko, but then it all ends as if nothing ever happened, and it just all feels so meaningless and disappointing, and just just in the end. Also, what I wanted to mention with Satoko's, with all of the protesting with Satoko, is I love how it changes the village as well, and I love how much the protests kind of extend outside of their friend group. Because, for example, you have the political implications of all of this, because ultimately Hinamizawa is needing development. They need a good relationship with the government, so obviously they can't completely start protests where everybody is in favour of them, because it might reduce their reputation and it might have long-term impacts to the town, well, to the village even, that may last years. But at the same time, there's that, but there's also community spirit, and Katie's lot kind of encourage, even though it could possibly be worse for the future of Hinamizawa, but have they lost all of the fight from the Onigafuchi Defense Alliance? Have they... What has happened since the Hinamizawa Dam protests? And I just love how everything relating to Satoko is totally against what they have been fighting for, really. I mean, all of the villagers to have a peaceful life, and obviously one villager is hurt and then everybody fights back. And yeah, I like how this really gives you like an alternative perspective on it, of everything that goes on with the Hojos in that sense. So yeah, obviously, as you can tell, I really like the journey to save Satoko. I think it's really nice. And yeah, also the pointlessness and the lack of realism in it as well with Keiichi in some areas. I love that as well. But then, obviously, we have the true side of the story right after Satoko is saved. They have... Well, Rika has one of the first happy Watanagashi festivals in her life, even though she's been repeating this for so many years. But then, obviously, yeah, there is... Rika just tells Tomitake of what is going to happen. Obviously, not really taken seriously, but then he learns the hard way, and ultimately we see the underside of Takano's sick plan. And yeah, you really... It's kind of cool what happens here, because you see how deranged, how sick, and let's be honest, how much of a psychopath Takano is here. And then in Matsuri Bayashi, you realise just what has caused her to be such a wreck of a human being. I mean, I think the best example is when they're about to do Operation Apocalypse. You have basically the order that is going to send 2,000 villagers into complete death in the most unjust and sick way, obviously. And you have all of these soldiers just wanting to pray for the lives of the people that that are going to die, and Takano just saying, oh yeah, fuck that, and just totally mocking it and not even taking it seriously as well. I think that's the best indication. And also, obviously, the fact that she murders as well. And it's so powerful seeing Rika just totally go to her friends just to try and fight. But ultimately, with some situations, like for example Satoko's, having the friends talk to each other and find a solution themselves is enough to solve the situation. But that's only because the friends talk to other people and they make other connections. Ultimately, because it's just Rika's friends fighting, nothing can happen. And they just don't have the power. And it's just so sad. You see all of people's desperation to fight, and it's just all ends as if everything is pointless. And obviously then you have the Operation Apocalypse and Takano just being a total psychopath. And then it's over. And yeah, the third volume is really nice because it just feels like it really addresses that part of the story well. And yeah, it's very, very interesting actually in Matsuri Bayashi, the fact that Rika totally forgets everything that goes on in Minagoroshi. And let's be honest, Hanyu is the only reason everything is saved and everything can continue, because Rika wouldn't have a reason to have hope in people as much as she did at the end of Minagoroshi in Matsuri Bayashi, just because of the fact that she doesn't remember any of it. And I like the kind of indication of meaninglessness as well while we're at it, because she goes through so much. She doesn't have any painkillers, she doesn't have any anesthetics or any things that are going to make her unconscious when Takano does the Watanagashi festival on her. And she goes through all of that pain just for everything to be totally forgotten in the next world. But obviously that's because the rewind feature is definitely running out of power. And that's kind of why she forgot everything. And yeah, it is actually interesting when you see just everybody believing and trusting in each other, and it really gives an indication of what's to come in Matsuri Bayashi. But also, what I really like about the manga artist is just how much passion there is in everything outside of the manga as well. Because you have occasional sketches of characters, and there are some where Higurashi characters are placed in Umineko outfits, which are quite cool. But you also have I was about to say last words. That's a fucking Toho reference. No, afterwards, and you have just little comics after, and it's a really quite nice way just to kind of relax after the really intense story. But that is kind of everything that I wanted to mention about the Minagoroshi manga. And ironically, I would say I'm really excited to read Matsuri Bayashi, but I'm literally on the 3rd volume at the moment. I mean, I have delayed this video for way too long. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And we're on the final Higurashi chapter now, which is quite hard to believe, but at the same time, I'm really excited for it. And I think I'm really excited to see how everything ends. And it's very interesting as well. This is kind of inevitable because of the connecting fragments arc being kind of something that feels like it could be only conveyed in visual novel medium. The manga in Matsuri Bayashi is really different to the visual novel adaptation, just in terms of how everything's communicated, and some parts I actually think were communicated in a bit of a better way, and some things that you see in the manga weren't actually explored in as much detail in the visual novel. This is a bit of a spoiler, but for example, in the orphanage scene with Takano, when when they're taken back after trying to find the House and Love and Mercy, and just everything that happens after that, I feel like that's explored in a bit more detail. I mean, I know it's a really dark example, but yeah, that's just kind of where it was most apparent. Anyway, I'm gonna go now, so I hope you guys enjoyed.